I don't like most of the business advice I see because it's really underhanded. I hope I'm using the definition correctly, but what I mean by underhanded is that it's manipulative. It doesn't really have the other person's best interest in mind. I'll use an example. Here's one of Hamza's videos.
To not send someone directly to the sales page and instead get their email address and sell to their email.
If I understood correctly, to summarize, get something that you can get their email with. For him, he says,
so for me, it's that this is the line that I say is like 7 free workout routines.
Go down in the description if you want a free guide to get a aesthetic physique. Here's some workouts in there. Then you click on that, you type in your email, the guide gets sent to you. But the emails don't stop there, then he keeps emailing you, right? And then slowly, he starts kind of bringing up product. That's pretty much the gist of it. I want to make it clear, this advice and a lot of the advice I'll cover in this video, they are not bad at making money. They will make you money, but that's not the issue I'm having here. The issue I'm having is how you get the money, which is why I'm never planning on using a lot of this advice. Here's another example. It's from a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it's in a little bit down, right? It's like, I think one of the last pages, not the very last, but probably the 50th or 60th. I don't really remember. But this is basically how the advice goes. Let's say, for example, you want a raise from your manager. You go into his office and you see he has a trophy on his desk. It says, Best Manager Award and blah, 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 blah. And you say, wow, you have that award? You must be like the best manager on the planet. And the manager will say, I'm a pretty good manager, huh? Well, I've done this, I've done that, blah, 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 blah. And then you get them talking for a while, and then he might say something like this, the manager. Oh, you're actually such a good person, such a good worker. I think I'll give you a raise. But if the manager himself doesn't bring it up, after the manager talks about, his accomplishments for an hour after you buttered him up, he'll say, I did come here. Can I have a raise maybe? And the manager will be like, yeah, you can have a raise. You're the best worker I've ever had. That is an incredibly dumbed down example of one of the principles he has. But to be fair, I think Dale Carnegie does say it a lot in his book that you should be genuine about saying this stuff. Like, instead of buttering someone up for your own gain, actually look for some remarkable qualities in them or some remarkable accomplishments and compliment them. Because, like he says in the book, many people are very deprived of appreciation. And that's really hard to do, to genuinely compliment someone, to genuinely think highly of someone. I don't even know how many times I've said genuinely by now, but I'll probably be saying it a lot more for this video. Right, so if you are doing it genuinely, you're not just manipulating them for no reason, then I guess it's not such a bad thing. But like I said, that's really hard to do, and I don't think that's how most people are going to use that principle. Because I think of, when you sell any product, it's more of a trade instead of, I'm this big corporate manager and you're this little ant underling trying to buy from me. Right, it's a mutual respect, and that's all it is at the end of the day. It's just a trade. Just instead of me giving you a stick and you giving me a rock, I'm giving you something and you're giving me money for it. But with this type of advice and these type of principles, there's not much mutual respect, right? You just want to squeeze out as much money as you can out of them. You don't have their best interest in mind. And if I knew someone used these principles on me and then they squeezed money out of me with it, I would just feel really icky. I wouldn't like it. So if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it to other people. Because how can I teach about, my values and to teach all this stuff on YouTube when I'm a big hypocrite who just wants to squeeze money out of you using ways that go completely against my beliefs that I'm preaching on YouTube? So what advice do I like for not just business but interacting with people in general? It's one from How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it's very much similar, if not identical, to the example I gave, but the difference is that it's genuine. And the advice is just compliment people more, give them more praise, right? We're so quick to yell and remember and get angry when someone does something wrong, but we never remember or bring up or even mention the things that people do right. If I use another simplified example, you're a kid and your dad drives you to school, from school every day, and you never really mention it, but then he didn't buy you a toy 2 weeks ago and you're still mad about it. Right? He did one thing for you that you didn't like weeks ago and you're still thinking about it, but he does something for you every single day and you're not mentioning it or even thinking about it. In general, I really don't like using a lot of the manipulative strategies, like not just for business, but for interacting with people in general. Here's some advice that I don't remember where I learned it from, but it's how to deal with people who are very argumentative. They like to argue, right? They'll choose a side of opposition just for the fun of it. And I'll actually make a video about that later. Like if someone says, the sky is always blue, instead of saying, nah, it becomes cloudy sometimes, and sometimes it becomes dark out, you'll say, yeah, you're right. And sometimes it has clouds in the mix, and other times it can even be dark. Right, a little simple example. And I do feel iffy about using those kind of strategies, but I think sometimes they might actually be something just for the good of the person, to change their mind on something, to open up their view, and it might take some of these strategies to pry their mind open if they're really stubborn. We all know somebody like that. If you really need money and you're not just doing it for greed, like you need to put food on your family's table, then maybe using these principles is appropriate. But I don't think that's how most people are using them. Most people are rich and they want to get richer. And that's exactly what goal these principles complete. But they will not make you genuine, and for me, they go against my morals. And really, thank you for getting this far in the video. I appreciate it. Have a good day.